in front of everybody, he told the fruit, do not touch a hair on Malcolm's head. He said, Allah gonna take care of Malcolm. I don't want his blood on our hands. The same fucking thing the French said. When Malcolm tried to get off the plane in France and they wouldn't let him off, they say, we don't want your blood on our hands. The French was the only motherfuckers that we ran up out of here totally because they lost 2 out of 3 battles, major battles. They lost to Chief Pontiac and they lost to Tucson. Now they got to go home. So they sell the protectorate agreement to not advance beyond the Appalachians to the English, who don't have to follow their motherfucking orders because they don't give a fuck anyway. They coming. But the Englishmen look like us. They own the Royal Virginia Company and the Royal Northwest Trading Company, a slave trading company, merged with the Royal Moroccan Company to become one company under a treaty of peace and friendship so they can stop fighting each other on the transport of goods and from the Americas back to Europe. See, we talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, but we don't go find out what they were signing the treaty for and who the treaty was being made with. These was trading companies. This like Ford, GM, and Chrysler fighting over the auto industry, and all of a sudden, the only solution was for the president to force them to merge and become the United States Automakers, Inc. That's all that happened. So they tricked us out of our shit. But when you understand what's going on, you see what's going on, we know who the dirty players is.
Right. Yeah. And they look just like us. And people have to understand that this system was built by them, whether you know it or not. It was. Right? And we have to go back and start, you know, putting the pieces together. But like you said, our ancestors couldn't do it because we was just simply trying to make a dollar, feed the family.
We had a different structure. We didn't need money per se.
Yeah.
Right? We traded services for goods indeed. Like I would come fix your mama's sink and she cooked me 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Right? So when they came over here, we had gold and coal was the big things at the time. That was what Big Mama kept in her bank for bartering trade. The gold and the coal, all Big Mamas, the wealth of the community was stored in golds and coal. The coal had big piles of coal in certain parts of the land because they used that to heat the homes and shit. Anyway, the gold was used to mint coins between clans, and we do trade with gold coins. They tell y'all that we didn't have no currency, but they sent their outlaws to shut down all Big Mama banks in order to establish the central bank. So what the fuck did we have banks for?
Right.
I mean, shit. So now all of the banks get a federal contract with the government under FDIC rules to establish a central bank to protect their interests because these outlaws keep robbing Big Mama house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the bottom line. And it don't have no other choice but to be shut down. And that's what people not understanding is that, like, that's why they pulling out now. That's why they say we're not touching the dollar no more, y'all. We can't. It's time to pull out. It's time to pull out.
If you look at the BRICS nations, they're building a currency dam. They're forcing the American dollar back so it can drown itself out.
Yep. Nation by nation.
It's strategic. That's why they keep telling you how every couple of days a new nation join the BRICS nations.
Yeah.
Because
a few weeks ago, it was 20.
in the gold cycles, what we call these prosperity cycle. Everybody has to have an opportunity to be wealthy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is wealth is relative to who's at the bottom and who's at the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody now got a drop of the royal blood, everybody royal family. People don't like to hear that shit. They want to be superior because of their melanin or because of their lack of melanin.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be superior, follow the way of the superior man.
Right.
Follow the way of the superior woman. Understand from your God self that there's nothing in creation that doesn't belong here. And everything, some things are only here for a season, but everything is here for a reason.
Right.
These are cycles that will change, and they do change. We adjusted and adapted over eons of doing this shit. So we did something. We went into an amnesia. Now we waking up.
Right.
Then when we wake up and realize that we can drive to what we call a prosperity cycle, and we can lay out a better way for the next 7 generations. And then we know that if we teach our children a better way, when it comes time for them to reset the next cycle in 7 generations, they'll be able to make it even better than it is between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the goal. We got to be, remember, a midget on a giant's shoulder can see farther than the giant. And we all on the shoulder of giants, so we should be able to see pretty far if we just pay attention. But
Right.
that price is too steep for a lot of people.
Mm.
They're not willing to pay that price of attention in order to liberate themselves from a mental prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hologram got to shut down.
Yeah. All of us got to shut down. We don't understand that part. And a lot of us, like I have people send me things all the time about, man, you know, it's shutting down, man. We're not going to be able to go to the store. We're not going to be able to do this. They bringing body bags. They do it. And I'm like, that's not our timeline, though. You see what I mean? That's not for us. We have endured everything that they could possibly do. They can't do anything worse. Right now, it's payback time. This is a celebration. This is our time to get everything back. And then some.
This is called the Great Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can get enough people to spread enough information across the land to hit critical mass, all the stuff I be saying becomes active,
Right.
right? I just be reminding us of our cultural ways because that's how you remind people of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why we like fried chicken? They make fun of us for it. It was a cultural phenomenon, right? We didn't use chickens, we had a different bird, but the concept is the same,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
we didn't have bags of potato chips. We didn't have bags of popcorn and Twizzlers. So Big Mama would keep bowls of fried yard bird on the counter for guests. She'd fry 2-3 times a day because the children that would come visit needed snacks. So she'd give them a square cornbread or she'd give them a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
But don't touch the breast because that's for Big Papa.
Right.
We all knew. Now we don't remember the culture. So when they make fun of the watermelon, which was our flush, it was our summertime hydrant. How we rehydrated in the summer was watermelon. So they make fun of us because we was wise enough to know that when it's 107 degrees in the goddamn shade, get them babies some watermelon so they don't die from a heat stroke.
Right.
We knew that, but now we made fun of it. They make fun of us for eating a watermelon. That's so they can deter us from the benefits.
Right.
But the cultures say, fuck what they talking about. I'm getting me some watermelon. That's the culture speaking through us that make us not give a damn about the stereotype attached to give us a stigma. My people been eating watermelon longer than these motherfuckers been here.
Right.
We invented that shit.
Right. Exactly. We grew it. That gave us our superpower right there.
Look, we invented watermelon. We invented motherfucking strawberries. We invented motherfucking wheat. All of this shit, we were botanists that cultivated. We were cultivators of the land, and we needed to plant shit we could eat.
Yep.
Right? What fucking good do it make to plant a weed that you can't eat?
Right.
Right? And then the ones that became poisonous, them not for food, no way. That's for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be orally consumed, but we knew that. Now we don't know shit. My father said we don't know shit from Shanola.
Yeah. Flat out. I got one more question,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I heard your live when you was telling everybody, yeah, you was going in on the Young Elders channel. You was like, stay the fuck home. It's over. Babylon is over. It's over. Y'all going in there buying tissue paper and shit. It's over, right? And I'm listening to you, and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. But you said something. You said, stay home. Stay home. Let them clean all this shit up in the streets. Stay home. Now, I have a question because people been talking about, right, the bunkers going underground,
Yeah.
right? People saying we all need to go out into the streets versus staying home because the way that our homes are set up, they're not set up for long-term stays such as.
Let me tell you what I was talking about. Because while that was going on, I was also reporting on the raiding of bunkers, showing people the earthquake chart of what I was talking about when they was raiding bunkers. They raided one under the White House, and a couple of soldiers died in that shit. They raided them under the Vatican and under Buckingham Palace too. I reported on all that shit when it was going down was for. They was chasing some beings called archons. They reptilians. Right? And it was one who was the hive queen that lived under the Vatican. Inanna severed her head. She came back on the jumper because she said, "What? Nobody killing that bitch but her."
Indeed.
So I was fucking mad because I wanted to kill the bitch myself. But I was reporting on all that stuff back then when it was happening.
Gotcha.
Right, in
it
real.
Still sounding relevant now because we're going through the same damn cycle where they trying to lock it down again, but we're not falling for it.
This caused the flip. Everything we seen going in to the redemption, we seen going out. My videos that didn't get a lot of circulation in the beginning get more circulation at the end. The shift in the algorithm tells me the shift in the culture. Right? So as I watch the algorithm shift, and the people remembering and they seeing and recognizing somebody telling them something that their ancestors or their elders told them had nothing to do with us. And now they calling them on it, and the ones who was for the bullshit is fumbling the ball. Right? They fumbling the ball. They can't, that's over with. They done. And so now these youngsters is catching on to how to use their telekinesis. Moving shit with their mind and shit. Because the veil is lifting and it's coming to a grand finale. Right? So now, even though it sounds relevant for the day, it's just that it's on the turnaround of a cycle. So it's going to be saying the same thing in a different tone. That's how we read our ancestors' messages in stone around the world. It tells us how to regroup. That's what
Yeah.
the Bang Dong Conference was, us regrouping.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the UNIA was, to get us to regroup on the land before we go over there to the Bang Dong Conference. We can at least be prepared to have some kind of network set up that when it come time to reclaim the land, we can oust the enemy around the world simultaneously. Right? So all of us join forces. And we get mad at other people for being on the land. A lot of these people we called over here to offer an aid and assistance in purging ourselves of the enemy. A,
Absolutely.
a lot of these Asians is coming over here to render assistance. Filipinos, they all fighting the same enemy. Certain way. They love
Yeah.
a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
They share family bond a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You try to take Mardi Gras from them, and they come from all walks of life. They gonna fuck you up,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna be personal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're gonna have a problem if you try to take Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
That's a cultural thing. That's part of the nature of the tribe on the land down there.
Mm-hmm.
The tribes from down there, we didn't just have Mardi Gras in New Orleans. They
Mm-hmm.
call it the Grand Carnivals in Brazil now.
Yeah.
Right? It's the Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant festival. You got different ones. You got one that's supposed to be like the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the type of Mardi Gras festival to recognize the ones that crossed over as warriors. Then you have, let's say, um, all of those festivals that they have. You be seeing them in South America a lot. Those festivals is cultural festivals that if the enemy would have tried to take that from the people, they would have had no rest on the land. That's just as simple as that. So it
Mm-hmm.
kept our cultures intact,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sea walking, crip walking, that's an
Mm-hmm.
ancient conjure. Bee
Mm.
walking is the flip side of the same conjure. Cricket
Mm.
walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have in Detroit, we got what we call Jit City.
Mm-hmm.
In Chicago, we ballrooming, we stepping, right? So all of these local traditional dances is the tribal instinct to develop a cultural link through dance and music. We naturally do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Whew. As always, you hitting, brother. Please support the brother. Uh, I finally got it right. It's CASHAPP, SIKAPE, capital SIK. Oh, sorry, capital SIK, capital APE. And thank you. I got to go back to this individual because they they were like, "You struggling there, Zosa? You gonna have to get it right." Who is it? It's divinely guided reading. She stepped in and got it right.
Oh yeah, they don't be playing.
Nah, I see. You know what I'm saying? That's tight. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta support each other, man. That's just the bottom line, man. We gotta support each other. You know, real talk, brother. I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying, that you were able to come on. You know what I'm saying, and answer these questions, and even for me, just continues to build. I'm learning every day, and I appreciate you. Just building. From a student to an elder. I know we all master we all master students. We're trying the best I be, but I appreciate you, coming on and giving this information, man. And I wanted to warm up, man, because you already know I got some more nastier questions I want to do, in the heavier questions, I should say, not nasty. Well, maybe both, I don't know. But heavier questions in the future. So I'm hoping that we can link up again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Anything
for
else you
sure,
want to
for
give?
sure.
Pardon me?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah, yeah.
appreciate you having me on here, getting the word out to the people.
That's it, man. Hey, if we don't do it, who's gonna do it, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's the bottom line, man. If we ain't gonna do it, if nobody's gonna do it, we just sitting there looking crazy as hell the whole time, and we can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the sun cycle. You know what I'm saying? We got to start remembering who we are. You know what I'm saying? These good brothers, like the good brother Rod Hayes here, he's assisting doing that, man. So please, like I said, support this brother. You know what I'm saying? Please, again, follow. What are all your pages? I know you said a lot of pages already full up, and
Yeah, so I'm on Rod Hayes on Facebook. My profile often changes, my picture, but the name stays the same. Rod Hayes .75 on Instagram,
mhm,
and Morpheus Mysticus Megas, which is pinned to the top of my Rod Hayes page.
mhm,
Right, so that's where I'm primarily at. You
mhm,
catch me sometime on Young Elder.
mhm.
Sometime I'll be doing the live with Dr. G on Reawaken Minds.
Okay.
Right, so this is just trying to get the word out to the people. So I appreciate you having me on here.
You doing it, brother. You know what I'm saying? You doing it, man, because I told you before when we first started talking, I, I, I told him, I said, I might have to call you Uncle Rod, man, because you remind me of my, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the type of vibe you get. I hear that all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? People can connect with you, man. You sincere, you're real, you got the knowledge. You ain't, playing no games, man. Uncle Rod. I like that. You
You
know
know,
what I'm
that's a common a common. I got a whole lot of nieces and nephews,
saying? Okay.
right? And then they got friends,
Uh,
right? And their friends call me Uncle Rod.
Uncle
So
Rod. Yeah, I can see that.
shit.
I see.
I got nephews and nieces that's from fucking 52 to damn 2 years old.
There you go. Uncle Rod, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's I also, like the analogy of Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? It's just because when you paint that picture, and I think about it all the time, man, because I was even before I always saw like the you know, this, the source of everything, as we in our language we call Papa Ut, but the source of everything is just a big mom that just wants to take care of you, just sits back and just saying, so I brought you to this planet. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are and she'll nurture you and she'll whoop your ass, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. But
Mhm.
and I love that analogy, man.
And she gonna tell you to sit your ass down right now. You ain't got no business out there in the streets. And I don't want to hear no talk back. And y'all, you gonna be saying you don't know why you doing it because in your mind you cussing her out. I ain't gonna listen and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But when she tell you, just say yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Right? And you
Mhm.
be like, what the fuck just happened? Big Mama spoke.
My mother.
That's it. Don't nothing else need to happen.
I
Because
know
if you
that.
piss Big Mama off, she gonna call Big Papa. He gonna put his foot in your ass.
That's it. You already
You know.
know.
And then if you think he too old to tussle with you, and you strong enough, he got one of them boys or two of them boys that's gonna put your new world in order.
That's it.
Ain't no
That's it.
disrespect at Big Mama house. Period. That's all it is to it.
That's it.
That's the law of the family,
That's it.
right?
The
So we
right
gotta all get back to Big Mama house.
Big Mama's house. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I love listening to your lives, man. Because I was you. I think you were breaking something down, about Django, and even so, dealing with the slaves, Native Americans, all that stuff. It all starts making so much more sense. And I put it right in the movie. Samuel L. Jackson sitting there writing all the checks when old boy, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio, he out there masquerading like he's really the front, but Samuel L. got all the power behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's all making sense, man. I'm telling you, bro. Because when like I told you before we went on here, I was watching when I was reading the first time I got that book, Let's Set the Record Straight by Dr. York, right? I was reading,
That's a
back,
headbanger there, boy.
man, that'll crack your neck in half, man. But see, I was younger when I first got it, obviously, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there reading it, and I got the information stored in me, all that stuff he was talking about at the time, because I was, I was wearing the red fez, back in and everything. All that information, I got it all. But see, it's a lot different when you start connecting the dots to other aspects of American history. You know what I'm saying? It all starts becoming more alive and more real and more tangible, to this reality we're dealing with
Right.
in
So
America.
it helped you make sense of the struggles we've been through
Mm-hmm.
and why we even went through them. We didn't
Yeah.
know it. We didn't know in the 60s and the 50s and 20s that we were at war.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But our ancestors knew that ones that got slaughtered
Mm-hmm.
in the 1700s, 1600s,
Mm-hmm.
and even the early 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can see the power struggle,
Mm-hmm.
but they telling you that it's something other than what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Right. They telling you that the Boston Tea Party was about excessive taxation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why we ain't having a Boston Tea Party?
Yeah.
We being excessively taxed.
Excessively taxed. Yep.
Right. So then the Boston Tea Party couldn't have been about taxes because we ain't having a Boston Tea Party right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about? There was the crash site.
Mm.
It was the incident that allowed them to declare that we crashed our land map into their ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So their ship was how to make you into a spiritual warrior ready to fight whatever you face. It's like martial arts for the spirit, so to speak. You already know that.
I feel like whatever breakthrough or whatever whatever is gonna be revealed to me is gonna be so profound that it'll eventually lead me to that point of ascension that on that path that I'm going towards. But I don't know.
So my mom
It's crazy.
used to tell me the Lord ain't gonna put no more on you than you can bear. And I used to tell her I'm not no damn bear. I can't handle this shit. What that means is this: in retrospect, when you go follow your path, you go through phases of build up and realization. Your realization can only come to the level that you build up to accept. And at no time will you purposely reveal something to yourself that can permanently damage you or that can make you stick out so far in the world that other people become belligerent to you. Because you can let your light shine so bright around these motherfuckers that they just want to distinguish your light because it's so bright and theirs is dim and they jealous. So sometimes you don't want to know stuff because as your confidence level goes up, it makes your inner light shine brighter and brighter. And before you know it, the haters, they gonna have a whole committee rooting against you, and you're gonna be laughing your ass off looking at them. But in the build up phase, you learn the lessons that's gonna carry you through the realization phase. And you can choose the lessons that you're learning by selecting to learn about certain different things. And then that's what'll be on the test because it'll be how you perceive. You've been exposed to more knowledge. Now you can move to a higher grade in school because the knowledge you have is no longer functional at the grade you're in. You're your own master teacher.
Because right. And I feel like I'm so prone to like a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit will happen and I eat it so fast. Like the craziest stuff, people do the craziest stuff to me and I'll just be like, it's okay. Like I still love you, like crazy shit like that. And I was opening, well, I wasn't intentionally opening my heart chakra, but that shit felt like I was dying. And it was so bad that I was going to go to the hospital and I would cry for like weeks. I would cry every day. Like, and I'm like, I can't remember my childhood. I'm a super empath. I love everybody. I didn't understand why I had so much, my heart was so heavy to the point where it wasn't even heavy. It just was to the point where like, I was doing some shadow work. I thought I was going to die.
The hardest shit I ever
so
did
bad.
facing my inner darkness. Because most of my inner darkness, I don't disagree with it if it's used in the proper context. Like, I still fuck a motherfucker up if I have to. But my inner light says there's no reason to put yourself in the spotlight of a person that you have to fuck up. So I move different now, out of wisdom versus moving out of just the dark, rational, not rational, irrational drive of the instinct. Because my instinct sometimes be to fuck a motherfucker up, but it's not necessary. So I had to always have a conversation with myself. Do I beat his ass or what? And then I'll be like, is this in context? And most of the time be like, no, you just want to beat a motherfucker ass. Right.
I never feel that
Yours
way.
is probably the opposite.
I never.
Because
it's hindering me still though. That is the opposite. Like it's
right.
Like my ex and everything, and I don't feel it. Just I don't know. It's weird. I can't hold on to anger.
You're not meant to hold on. Anger is just to tell you that it's danger involved. You need to be in that warrior mode in case you have to face danger. You're not supposed to live in the anger.
Yeah, but you still, I feel like you still have to have some sort of boundary. And I have boundaries. It's
have
just,
nothing to do with anger.
I never get mad.
Just because you have boundaries and somebody cross them and you put them back in their place don't never mean you lost your cool. Look, I guy come up to me to hit on me and I tell him I don't fuck around, right? He didn't know before he hit on me. But when I told him I don't fuck around, now if he continue, it's play at your own risk, player. Right? Because what he didn't know before I told him, now he's aware that if he keep pushing, I'm going to knock his motherfucking ass back. Right? I didn't take it personal when he first approached because some of the dudes that I've seen that participate in the lifestyle, I can understand what he's interested in, but I'm not the one. I like women. I like soft, cuddly